You are listening to Dog Decks Radio, the nation's animal station.
Meet Shawn Bath from Clean Harbour Initiatives. Shawn is a former sealer and fisherman from Newfoundland, Canada, who is changing the world one tyre at a time. Understanding just how much our rubbish is harming our oceans, the animals that live there, and ultimately us, Shawn started to dive to remove it. A forward-thinking man who put everything on the line to achieve what he believed in. Shawn quit his job and began diving full-time. Emotionally and financially draining, Shawn continues with his work to make the world just that bit better for all of us.
Listeners, I've got a big treat for you this afternoon. We have Stanine and Shawn with us today, and they're talking to us about a subject very close to our hearts. They're talking about cleaning up our oceans. Shawn and Stanine, welcome to Dog Desk Radio.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure to see you both today. Now, you're both in Canada, and most of my listeners will not be over familiar with the coast in your area. Can we start off by talking about how important the sea is to your economy up there?
Well, we live in Newfoundland. It's an island on the east coast of Canada, and the majority of income that is made around here comes out of the ocean, right? Whether it be from crab, cod, lobsters, scallops, shrimp, whatever. Pretty much everybody makes a living from the sea around here, and it's vital to our economy.
Okay, so fishing's really, really important.
Big time.
Yeah.
I spent 21 years diving for sea urchins. That was the main species of fish that I harvested, and I spent 18 years as a commercial sealer. Now, I have been sealing for probably 10, 12 years now, but I stopped harvesting sea urchins about 2.5 years ago. So I could start cleaning up some of the trash off the bottoms of our harbors.
Okay. So how big a problem is it then, this trash?
Well, every harbor you dive in, we could easily dive down and clean up 200 or 300 tires off the bottom around the government wharves, right? Probably a couple thousand bottles and everything else you can imagine is there, like old fishing gear, old rubber clothes, microwaves, computers, pretty much everything we've had. Seriously, pretty much everything we've had as human beings and didn't want went over the wharves at one point in time. But now, thank God, it's not so bad as that now. I mean, this generation is not throwing things over the wharf like the previous generations. But to their defense, I guess back in the day, there was no dumps around or nothing, so that was an easy way to get rid of your trash, right? And it was out of sight, out of mind.
And no knowledge of the damage it does to the environment.
Yeah, because I was expecting you to say that there would be a lot of, disused fishing gear and so on, but I wasn't expecting to hear microwaves. Flipping heck. Where does that come from? Do we know? Do people just lob it into the sea?
Pretty much every appliance that is in your house, we found them on bottom over the years diving.
Wow.
Toilets, washing machines, fridges.
Toilets, common thing.
Really?
Really.
Oh, yes.
So people just rock up and just flight it into our oceans where nobody can see it, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, it's quite a picturesque area that you live in there, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the trash. How bad is that trash for the marine animals? Have you seen any, negative effects from the rubbish that you're diving for?
Yeah, well, we dive for ghost nets, and as you know, a lot of whales are drowning due to being entangled in ghost nets. So yeah, there's definitely a negative impact from the trash. There's thousands of rubber tires on the bottom, probably millions of rubber tires on the bottom around our harbors. And it takes 60 to 80 years for those rubber tires to break down into microplastic or micro rubber, whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, when it breaks down in microscopic sized pieces, it's being eaten by the lobsters, crabs, and mussels and stuff like that, right? And if we're consuming those fish, well, then we're consuming the micro rubber as well. So yeah, it's definitely has a negative impact on our food chain, our health, everything, right?
He's also noticed that the vegetation around the wharfs and stuff, like the seaweeds and stuff that the fish and the crabs and everything would eat off of has almost become obsolete around the wharfs where all the tires
Really?
are. It's all muck and dirt and silt and settle down there. There's no vegetation at all around the wharfs. Not
So
even normal seaweed, right?
yeah, so it's really affecting everything then, from
It
the
is.
plants right the way through the food chain, and including us listeners.
Yes. Yeah.
If you eat a lot of seafood, you're eating a lot of rubber or plastic, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Around most of the wharves we dive around, when I go down to pick the cans and bottles and stuff off bottom, the mud is just black, like it's completely dead, void of any life, right?
Okay.
So
Sorry.
when you get away from the wharves a little further, the further you go away, the more life you see on the bottom, right? And it gets back to normal. But directly around the wharves, like, it's really bad.
And all these empty bottles and cans and stuff cause a hiccup in the food chain as well, because the spawning of the mussels and sea urchins will get inside the bottles, and when they start to grow, they can't get back out. So then they die within these bottles. So it's a bit of a hiccup in the food chain itself. It lowers the count. Not saying that our count are so depleted, but it does cause a hiccup in the growth of mussels and sea urchins and stuff.
Yeah, most people would think, well, it's only a pop bottle on the bottom. It's no big deal. It's glass. It's not really breaking down that much. And it's not really a big deal, I guess, other than the fact it's trash and the fact that it is killing some organisms, right? Like sea urchins and scallop and mussels, whatever, like Stinine said there. When they get in there, they grow so big, then they can't open and close to feed themselves. So they just eventually start to death in the bottles, right?
Oh, that's
We've
awful.
got thousands of bottles with mussels and different kinds of clams inside of one. They can't open up and feed, right? So they die.
We're not terribly clever, are we?
No.
No, we're not.
No, just chuck it and don't think about the consequences. Okay, so how are you getting all this rubbish out of the ocean, Shawn? What do you do?
Well, first when we started, we just I dove off the wharf literally with a piece of rope in my hands, and I tie on a whole bunch of tires, and I swim back. I get up on the wharf, take off my gear, and tie the rope to my truck, and I get in my truck, and I put her in 4-low and reverse her and pull it up over side the wharf, right?
Wow.
But now we've evolved a little, I guess you could say. We got a nice boat net now, and we got a few more people helping us. So we usually got someone on the wharf to haul it up for us, or we just pull it up with our boat. But
Wow.
it's a work in progress, but we're getting there. It's taking a while to work the bugs out of the system, but eventually we're going to be extremely efficient, and we'll be able to go out every day and take 100 tires of the water and whatever else we find, right?
So what kind of an impact would you say you're actually having? What are you achieving?
Well, I bring the awareness to the problem, right? Prior to me starting this, there was next to nobody, only a few local divers knew about the problem. So as you probably aware, we've got a documentary going there now, Hell or Clean Water, and that's going to reach several million people. And all these people are going to know how bad the bottoms of our harbors are, so they're going to be getting on board. And it's probably going to be helping these people to think twice about throwing trash off the wharf, right? Or whatever.
Anywhere,
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about doing things that are accidental as well. How many of us will go, and chuck a frisbee for our dog or whatever, and it goes into the sea, and you're like, oh, well, won't bother about getting that. Come on, Fido, let's go home. And it's there, yeah? But if 100 people do that, that's a lot of frisbees, isn't it? If 1,000 people do it, that's even more. So, yeah, we need to be definitely thinking about what we're doing, and thank you very much for bringing the awareness that you are. Now, this costs money, Shawn. You do this full time, don't you?
Yes, we do, yeah.
And nobody's paying you to do it, are they? Are there any grants or anything?
Go ahead.
Okay, we got a couple small grants in the beginning for educational purposes through DFO, but we couldn't use that for actual cleanups because of liability issues. They did not be liable for paying me to go out and drown myself or something, right? Heaven forbid if something like that happened. But so we got those couple small grants, and then eventually, as we were doing the documentary, Cheryl Fink from IFA Canada, she applied on our behalf to Environment Canada and Climate Change, or Environment Climate Change Canada, whatever, and we received an $80,000 grant over a 2-year period for wages and expenses and stuff, right? Which was a complete game changer for us. Because I mean, prior to that, I was literally selling my own stuff to try to raise money to pay for this cleanup, right? To get this awareness about, right? But it's coming around. We're getting a little more funding now, and it's making it a little bit easier.
So you are
with the extra cheese now.
Yes. So the Canadian government won't actually give you any money to do this at all.
The grant we got, the $80,000 grant from Environment and Climate Change Canada, that was from the Canadian government.
Brilliant.
So we got one grant from them, and we got some funding from our provincial DFO, or the Minister of Environment. They donated enough money to pay for 2 outboard motors to go on the back of our boat, right, which was a great help at the time. But no, we're not getting funded like full time or nothing by no means, right? In order to make this efficient, we need money enough to hire a 5-man crew, or maybe even 6-7-man crew, whatever, right? And be able to pay these guys all year round. Because I mean, that's how it needs to be done, right?
Yeah, the government needs to support you, I think, because it's in everybody's best interests, isn't it?
Yes,
that
it
we
is.
keep those systems clean, because if we don't, we're not just killing sea life, listeners, we're killing ourselves, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great thing in 10, 20 years from now for Newfoundlanders with regards to tourism and aquaculture, if we can boast that we've cleaned every harbour in our province, and now we've moved on down the eastern seaboard, or
Cross to you guys,
or wherever, right? I mean, all governments all around the world should be hiring people to clean your harbours and bays, because I mean, all the trash that's in the ocean, that's how it enters the ocean, through the harbours and bays, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you could be the centre for training everybody how to do this, because you are the only people that are doing it, aren't you, that I'm aware of?
Well, right now, ourselves, with the help of Cheryl Fink from Life of Canada, we're putting together a best practices report, I guess, because first when I started this, like, I've learned so much. There's a lot of things I was doing wrong in the beginning, but now that I got funding to get a boat for myself and got some better gear and stuff, I don't have to do it like I was doing before. For example, like before, I'd swim out probably 200 feet from the wharf, I'd tie on a bunch of tires and I'd haul them in my truck, and that was literally dragging the tires across the bottom, right? So that wasn't a good practice, but I felt the long-term effect of doing that was going to be better than leaving on the bottom, right? And it would help bring the awareness. So the more awareness we bring to more people, the better support we're getting, right?
Okay, so are you raising funds for development or anything like that, Shawn?
On our Facebook page, and we're accepting donations there for several different purposes, I guess, to buy the safety gear we need and the equipment we need to do this more efficiently, and to help pay wages for divers, right? Because like, I spent 1.5 years doing this by myself, like without any divers to go down with me or whatever. But now it's gotten to the point now where I got to have safety divers, and you got to have a full team, right? You can't be efficient without a team. And plus, if I go out without the proper safety gear and everything, and not enough divers, anything happens, it's going to look really bad for us. It's basically going to shut us down, right? And we don't want to be shut down. We want this to grow and multiply, right?
Yes.
Because our oceans need it.
Yeah, and of course you're bringing in employment opportunities in the area also, aren't you, Shawn? It's a win-win, isn't it? Listeners, we need to support this. We need to be, pioneers of it in the UK. You can say later on, I was in there, and now he's teaching the rest of the world how to do it. Tell us about this documentary that's been made about you, Shawn, and your work.
Okay, the documentary, when I first went to Cody Westman, he's the director of the doc, and I went to him looking to get a 60-second commercial made for Clean Harbors Initiative, because we were doing some really good work, but nobody was hearing us, right? And Facebook wasn't getting the word out there, so I thought maybe a TV commercial would be a good idea. But of course, when I realized how much it cost to make a commercial, I was like, well, there's no way I can afford that, right? But as we were talking, Cody got the idea. Like when I told him that this year already I pulled 15,000 pounds of trash out of the water, he was like, man, that is the story right there, right? I mean, this is so much bigger than a commercial. And a few weeks later, he called me back and he asked me if I was interested in doing a documentary on CBC Doc Channel. And at first, I kind of thought he was pulling my legs, like that's like an hour and a half commercial, right? And showing off, he was serious, and we started working together at it, and we made a teaser and we sent to the Doc Channel, and they loved it. So then we started working on the documentary.
Yeah,
and,
this is truly mind-blowing stuff, isn't it? Because we're all sat here in the UK, and we're all watching Seaspiracy, which I believe was made in Australia, and so we know what the problems are. That's huge. But that's it. That's where it stops. We switch Netflix off, and it's all over.
Yeah, it's all
and
over. Then you don't feel like there's anything you do about it.
You've got you guys actually going in and saying, yeah, okay, we know there's a problem, and we're actually doing something about it.
Yeah.
But you need that support, don't you, Shawn, for sure?
Definitely. The film crew followed us for almost 2 years. And we're two people of very limited means, and you'll see that as you go through the documentary. They followed us for 2 years, and we didn't hold anything back. We allowed them to see how hard financially it was for us to get this off the ground, how hard physically, mentally, the whole thing, right? And I think that's where the strength in the documentary comes from, because everybody we talked to was like blown away by how hard we suffered trying to get this off the ground, and they're so happy, but we didn't give up, right? And
did you ever feel like you wanted to give up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, several times I did, but thank God Stalene kept me going, right?
Yeah. Did it put a lot of pressure on you both, like with the relationship? I mean, you know, if somebody doesn't load the dishwasher properly, I have a bit of a meltdown. I can't imagine what it must be like if you've given up your job, you're dedicating yourself to the environment, this really important cause, you've got no money coming in. That must have been so difficult.
Well, we went from being a couple that was working flat out, and we weren't rich by no means, but we did make enough money to pay the bills and live somewhat stress-free. And now all of a sudden I gave up my job and tried to convince Stalene that I was going to spend the next however many years cleaning up trash in the ocean that people 50 years ago threw away. And that was a hard sell, I'll tell you. But God love her, she put up with me while we were doing it.
Oh, listeners, I love these two. I love you too. You're great. How fantastic. That's a really nice story. I'm glad that you stuck with it.
Yeah, definitely.
He's lucky I did.
Have you had any resistance or encouragement locally? Are people really invested in this?
In the beginning, I had a lot of people making fun of me and telling me I was silly to be even attempting this, right? And some fellows couldn't understand why I was doing what I'm doing. But as I started to expose the problem and people started to realize, okay, there really is an issue here with trash on the bottom, right? Because like I said, most people didn't even know it existed. But once I started exposing the problem, people started to come on board, and there's very few people had any objections to it after that.
Brilliant. That's excellent.
Now, the fact that I was working with Cheryl Fink from IFA Canada, now being a former sealer, and Newfoundland, of course, is all about the seals, right? That kind of rubbed a few people the wrong way. I got a few threats and a few things, a few nasty words or whatever, but that kind of rolled off my back. I didn't really care about the big dogs. I knew that the goal of what I was doing was so much bigger than just a seal hunt, right?
So I mean, I think it's great that that the community is actually supporting you now and supporting you with Cheryl moving forward as well. I think that's brilliant. You know, those three things going on there together. You've got a very bright future ahead of you. I'm very sure of that.
When I started out first talking to Cheryl, we both put ourselves in harm's way just to be even talking to each other, right? Because that was absolutely no. You did not talk to these people. And for them to be talking to us, she didn't know if we were just trying to set her up to get something on her or say something bad about her, right? But that was definitely not the case, obviously. When we started, I always said I wanted to bridge the gap with these people, right? And try to work together rather than be fighting each other. I mean, animal rights groups in Newfoundland has been fighting for the last 50 years, right? But it's time for that to end.
Yeah, definitely. You have to find common ground, don't you?
Absolutely.
It's actually a really, really beautiful story. This is so much more than about cleaning the oceans, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I like to think it is. I mean, trying to kind of put an end to a 50-year feud, clean the oceans, and bring awareness about what's going on, right? So it's a whole
because sealing's going to just stop anyway at some point in the future. Definitely, because it's just going down and down. It can't keep going on subsidies. I don't want to talk about that too much, but the world's changing. The world's dynamic, isn't it, Shawn? And you've seen the future, really. When did you stop doing that, and when did you start doing this? It was several years ago, wasn't it?
When I stop doing what?
When did you stop doing the sealing?
That was about 10, 12 years ago, that was.
Yeah, and when did you start doing this?
I started doing this about 3 years ago. 10 or 12 years ago, I attempted to do this back in the day, right? But nobody was ready for it.
Right.
So I just gave up on it for a while. But 3 years ago, I was thinking, well, I mean, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to be able to do it, right? So I'm getting too old for it, right? I'm 50 years old now, so I got to get something on the go now while I still can.
40. I mean, I'm pushing 60. We're just young things. So
that's all, yeah.
Don't go there. But so you've actually kind of seen the future, haven't you? And putting yourself out there like that, that's difficult, isn't it?
It was risky.
Yeah, especially when you're in a situation where, things are a bit volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really brave.
The support we've gotten from our efforts so far has been overwhelming, right? And any negative stuff that was said first when we started means nothing now, right?
Apart from not chucking things in the ocean, what do you want our listeners to do to help you with this?
Well, funding is the big thing, right? If we get the people to donate the money to us to buy the gear we need and hire the guys we need, we can take care of the rest, right? Getting it out of the water is not an issue if we got the manpower or the funding for the manpower and the equipment, right? Just give you an example of the expense involved in this. Right now, we're about to do a 3-day cleanup on the other side of Newfoundland, all over on the west coast. And like she said, it's about an 8-hour drive. The price tag on that cleanup for travel and everything, say 5 days altogether, is going to be about $12,000 to $15,000. And now, right now, we agreed to take our $80,000 grant we had for wages, and we're paying everybody out of that, right? Because that was fully my personal wages, but I kind of gambled that on everybody's wages and the gas and fuel and expensive hotels or whatever, right? So that I figure hopefully we'll get another grant when that one runs out, right?
Yeah. Well, we're totally behind you. You have my listeners. You have our station in the UK. We will do whatever we can to help you. So keep in touch.
Greatly appreciated.
Can I say something? If you
sure,
don't want, you don't
of course
have
you
to use
can.
it. But another way you can help us is to change that mindset that ignorance is bliss. I mean, to be blind and ignorant to what's happening is not blissful. It's damaging to us, the earth, right? So if we could get people out there on the mindset that, that's only a bit of garbage that will decay or that will break down. No, don't throw it away. Not only is it dirty, not only is it damaging, it could kill a little animal, right? So start changing the mindset that, oh, it's only a little bit of plastic. Oh, ignorance is bliss. Let's change the mindset and say, no, we got garbage at home. Let's take it with us instead of getting rid of it out here, right?
Yeah,
doesn't matter if you're on the water or on the land. It needs to be done everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Where can listeners find you? You've got a Facebook page, haven't you?
Yeah. You can go to Clean Harbors Initiative, or you can go to Shawn Bath, my personal page. Both pages got about the same thing. My personal page is probably a little more up to date because that's where I focus on the most. And we got a bunch of people helping us with the other page.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Stanine, can you send me those links and I'll get them out onto the page so that people can just click on them and go and find you well. So people can have a look at that. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell my listeners before we say cheerio?
Thank you for cheering us on. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes, definitely.
We love that people are getting on board.
Well, I love what you do. And now that I've met you two guys, I love you even more. And as I say, we are so here for you. Congratulations. Well done. I know it's tough. Thank you for, keeping on with it. And we'll see you again sometime in the future, I hope, when when you're training us.
Yes, that's right.
So, yeah.
You were saying, Michelle, we've got a bunch of you all coming over and we're teaching them how to clean the oceans and everything's going really well. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would be, yes.
Hopefully within 6 months, we'll have a best practice report put together so we can send you a copy of that so you can share it with whoever needs it.
Be fantastic.
Whatever data we collect and whatever reports we do is going to be free for anyone to see just so that people can have an easier start in life than we did when it comes to doing these cleanups, right?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us.